Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. And I'm really glad you guys enjoyed the first episode. I know I did. And our newly made Toreador Xavier got met by the welcoming committee, who is not particularly friendly, and now we're in an elevator going God knows where. So, let's see where the story goes. The stranger shows you to the elevator, and you go to the ground floor. During an awkward ride, your dazed and confused mind desperately searches for a glimmer of hope, and eventually comes across one. Maybe you'll find the man you met earlier this night. Who is that man? Do you know who the man was who brought me here?
That's what I'd like to know. As of yet, he's unidentified. They have left no trace, and it's obvious they're not planning to come back for you. If, and that is a big if, you ever see them again, it'll be tomorrow, and probably for the last time.
What do you mean for the last time? His face is inscrutable.
I said what I said. All I can add for now is, tomorrow is a big night for you.
The elevator door opens to an empty hall. You walk outside, past the night guard's post, which is empty. The cold night air reminds you of the balcony, just a few hours ago. The man motions to a black Cadillac Escalade.
Take a seat in the back, please.
You get inside. The man closes the car door behind you. You hear a click as it locks. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without comment. Where are you taking me?
A safe place. Forgive me, I'm not in a talkative mood. This won't be a long drive. Patience.
Dead silence fills the car. You close your eyelids and sink back into your thoughts. A blurry afterimage of the man who brought your painting, or who bought your painting, is still there. It's strange, you've never felt this way about anybody. It makes you happy, even though you have the nagging thought that there's something fundamentally abusive about this attraction. But then the girl's hair, spilt over the purple hoodie, and her blood, spilt over the cold floor, come into sharp focus. You wince. You want to cry, but it's if there were no more tears left in you. After what feels like an eternity, the car comes to a stop. You get out in an underground parking lot. It's an ugly, concrete, gray thing. Empty, but for the car you came in. It looks like there's a room beyond a metal door in the wall.
Guess you'll live to see another night. Follow me.
He opens the metal door and lets you inside.
Here we are. These are your lodgings for the night. If you get hungry, again, take a look in the fridge. Tomorrow, I will come pick you up.
The cramped room has no windows. Just a simple bed, a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, a small humming fridge, and a rattling AC fan in the wall. It has all the coziness of a solitary prison cell. You notice claw marks on the inner side of the entrance door. I can't feel myself breathing. I can't sense my heartbeat. I need to go to a hospital, man.
You're going to be fine. Listen, normally I'd lose my nerve right now and things would get nasty. But I get it. You're scared. You don't understand what happened. Trust me, you'll learn more tomorrow. But now, I need you to rest. and you need you to rest. He gestures inside the room. Finding no more willpower to resist, you step inside, and the stranger nods contentedly. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very secure and sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid, unlabeled. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame, kind of grimy and damp. Seeing it makes you grimace, but you're just too tired not to lie down. Your entire body hurts, a dull feeling that makes you feel heavy. You feel vulnerable and lonely. Usually when that happens, you turn your attention to painting just to not think about the alternative. Your family upbringing left you with no skills but artistic talent. Creating art used to be something of an unpleasant duty. Somewhere along the line, though, it became the only weapon you had to fight with existential despair. Some of your best work was created in lieu of impotently crying in bed. Hell, you're pretty sure a few of those pieces had your tears mixed in with the paint. Like the painting that led your whole night to this. You look back at your life, and it starts looking like a downward spiral. You are so tired. Your entire body tenses up, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel quite like sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator's still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept for 17 hours straight. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone, and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there, and you take a closer look at it. If it is soup, and its color and texture are off, you pull the cork out and take a whiff. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating, but now it's almost... No, not almost. It is enticing. Oh, we're definitely going to drink the blood. Unless it's... I don't know about blood bonds. That actually would be devious to do that. Well, we got to drink it before we, attack someone. We don't want a frenzy on our first or second night of existence. It feels wrong, but right now, there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. To hell with it. You pour a little bit of the liquid into your mouth. It tastes bland. Reminds you of cheap supermarket juice. Just enough flavor to register as what it claims to be on the box, but nothing like the real thing. Nothing like what you had the last time. You swallow it. Somehow, you don't feel sick. In a weird, messed up way, you can't help but think it feels nourishing. You take a few more sips. And then just another one. Suck on the bag a little more. Eventually, you find that you've emptied it entirely. All, and you look at the info present at the side of the bag, 450 milliliters of it. Even with its blandness, you still feel like having more.
You realize your body longs for that intoxication high you felt when an image of that corpse crosses your mind, causing you to wince. What have you become? You try to piece your thoughts together, make sense of it all, when you hear the lock click and see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again, that predatory look like a hawk on a hunt, but somehow more relaxed tonight, so like a tamed hawk, maybe.
Good evening. Slept well?
He notices the discarded, emptied bag.
I see you had a bit of a snack.
Am I still a human being?
Luckily, one does not typically shed their entire humanity in 2 nights. You should be fine. Come on. We've got places to be.
The car is humming in the empty parking lot just outside the door of the cramped room you've spent the day in. The man motions to it, politely, but with a stern look on his face. Yeah, I don't think rushing the stranger or trying to hijack the car is a good thing. Let's go ahead and get inside. Okay. Lead the way.
After you.
You take the back seat again. The doors lock. And the stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is almost soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic humming in the car's engine. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked all right. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. Nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you realize now that you're hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. Oh, we've read this before. You try to extract some information from the man behind the wheel, but you realize you'd prefer to bask in the afterglow of your last meal. You wouldn't have expected it, but you spend the rest of the trip lost in your thoughts, and a lot of them concern blood. It takes you another 20 minutes or so to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York, that much is certain. Queens, maybe. Wait, you know exactly where you are. The nice-looking 2-story building has a logo you immediately recognize. The Art Hole, an avant-garde gallery. Used to hold that collection of bagged viscera and body parts by... can't remember the guy's name. He's Brazilian, you think. Fabio something or other?
After me. No sudden movements, please.
You've never been inside. Not quite your style. But the place has quite the cult following. You keep racking your brain for more facts, hoping they'll help you with whatever you got into. 2 large men in suits flank the door to the gallery on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger who guides you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour, to say the least. About 24 faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for the most part, but it's unclear what they've gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite. Unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you as if wishing to appraise your worth. Memories come back to you like a bad case of PTSD. How many times before had someone judged you, impassively or decisively, through your art? You'd share a piece of yourself with the world and it'd respond by making you feel like garbage. It always took a lot of effort to not lose your cool and tell all of them to shove their opinions up their collective asses. Now, looking around, it feels as you've become another artwork as commodity to be judged by a bunch of obscenely wealthy, out-of-touch assholes. Makes you want to scream. Good evening, Kadir. And to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation again. The gallery, a crowd of strangers, you, being brought here against your will. For what purpose? The room awaits your response. Well, she actually wasn't talking to me. But I am interested that we know the name of our friend here. So that's your name? Kadir? I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
You are being addressed by the Prince of New York City, Helen Panhard, child of Michaela. Turn your eyes to her when she is speaking.
Thank you, my sheriff, but I am capable of introducing myself. She is somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the gathered audience. This is kind of a LaCroix situation here. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. Wait. My sire? You mean the man I met at the gallery? That's one of the things we're here to ascertain. You are about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society make-believe?
A trusted informant, who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time, tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place.
So we were dealing with the sheriff the entire time. I'm really glad we didn't violate the 3-strike policy.
Interestingly, his sire made use of an older haven as one of the clan of the Rose for the embrace. They were even thoughtful enough to leave a local woman for the fledgling to slake his thirst on. Despite some reservations, he offered little resistance last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force his compliance. We had a quick chat, but, wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged him to join me, which he did without struggle. A pleasant departure from my usual routine, I must say. His thirst partially slaked with the bagged blood we kept in the safe house. We had a pleasant enough drive here. The story ends with us arriving at Elysium tonight.
All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman, with curly, almost blood-red hair, and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? Thank you, Kadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there's the matter of your sire, the person who brought you where Kadir picked you up from last night. Who were they?
Yeah, we still don't know any of these terminologies.
Let me ask you this first. Why do you keep using that word? Sire. What does it mean? Under regular circumstances, they would be your patron and the one responsible for your introduction into our society. Things being what they are, however, I would very much like to know who they are. Indulge me. You find it impossible to decline her final request. Something in her voice makes you want to please her, and you hear yourself speak. He was beautiful, charismatic, charming. Dark hair, a sort of artistic mess. He had an accent I couldn't recognize. He took notice of my art, and bought a piece, in fact. I want to meet him again. You stop yourself from saying more, then realize there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought enters your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease?
Lots of presents, lots of dominate. Or not a whole lot of it.
Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar?
No, it does not. Or at least not familiar enough. I'll continue the search after we're done here.
I don't know between these two. I mean, we can dose out. We can keep on playing Clueless, or we can show a little bit of.
Let's try.
That guy, he bought my painting at the gallery. He didn't pay in cash, I think. Maybe you can track him that way.
Oh? Did your outlook on him change all of a sudden?
He smirks, seemingly enjoying your misery.
Personal jabs aside, thank you for that observation. I will investigate this later. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince?
What is your recommendation, my sheriff?
The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. And I'm ready to fulfill my duty.
Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Kadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement.
Of course.
He seems strangely relieved.
The prince leaves the main showroom, and about 6 people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir what all that talk of traditions and council was, when the red-haired woman approaches the two of you. Sophie.
Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling.
What for?
She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir, we all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stain your hands tonight after all.
Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came, and you are left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you.
Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. Wait, did I hear that right? What did he say about a sword? Your hearing isn't faulty. We only have a short while before the prince hears her counsel out and Kadir returns here with his blade. So listen, please. Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? Oh yes, I'm well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire. The fact remains. The beings called vampires, you're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale. Really pale. And most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness. And not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it. And your breathing has not returned. Your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps on saying, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" on repeat. You're surprised. This is often how it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If we do nothing, you'll be cut down. As sure as day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance. A way out. Under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight and your deference to Kadir will work in your favor. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I'll take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me, and if they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences. So she's offering us a lifeline, or an unlifeline. Suppose I say yes. What happens then? You survive, hopefully. Or not, depending on the prince's whim. I'm giving you a chance, not a guarantee. But if you take me as your patron, I'll be your guide in this new reality. And you will assist me, like a child would a sire. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her council are returning to the showroom. Kadir appears from downstairs as well and starts walking towards you. When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. But remember my condition. She flashes a heart-melting smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scabbard, fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous, if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating first and foremost. Kadir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes center stage again. Loyal kindred of the New York City Camarilla gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. Now, if you guys have followed any of my previous stuff, I normally always referred to the Camarilla as the Camarilla, just because I grew up in the Southwest at U.S. and stuff like that is normally pronounced like Camarilla, you know. But I'm going to go ahead and say Camarilla because I know that's what most of you guys are used to. She briefly addresses you. I want you to know that this was not an easy decision to make. For your part, you have not done anything to earn our ire. I do feel a genuine sorrow for what must be done. We are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. There is no place for tolerating dissent when our very existence is under constant threat. Although I acknowledge some of my council's divergent opinions on this. She takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before. A rather plainly dressed, shy-looking man, whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in deference. I hold the final authority over this fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny that must be punished. The sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Kadir. You hear a scraping sound and see that the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. It is a beautifully detailed blade which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up.
2 outs. Bottom of the 9th.
His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, one that quickly vanishes to give way to grim determination.
And he's out to bat.
He will not get another chance to speak up.
Oh, we are not escaping with a bunch of Toreador with celerity.
Ask for mercy.
You make your choice.
I don't want to die! Spare me! Please! Prince, if I may ask you stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer. Kadir looks at the prince, awaiting her response. The sword still hanging above you, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley? Yes, if I may. At first, the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood in the room. The bored elite suddenly look at you with aroused interest, some of them dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. Well, let's hear it. Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes are on her now, but Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of the distraction. My prince, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper context should be observed in addition to the letter of our laws. This fledgling is a burden, but with proper guidance they could become an asset to our domain. Am I to understand you are volunteering to take this sireless child under your protection? Yes. I happen to think they might hold a potential that would be unfortunate to waste. I do expect their full cooperation, of course. Whispers can be heard again, an incredulous voice or two, a hushed, just behead the fucker, some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Silence. I ask all of you to make note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but another will have to be enforced even more firmly in its stead. Until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's a responsibility you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this fledgling and add a valuable ally to our sect in a time of need, yes. But I would like to receive the right of destruction over them, if it pleases you.
Time to remain silent.
It's clear tensions are high. It feels surreal to listen to strangers discussing your death, or second death apparently, and keeping silent. You decide it's for the best to let Sophie handle this alone and not interject. You have no idea how to handle this eyes wide shut crowd. Nice Kubrick reference. The prince looks at you as if weighing your worth. She takes another good measure of the room before she speaks again. I shall grant what you ask. Let it be known, Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose will become this fledgling's patron. they shall be considered like sire and child. Miss Langley will take full responsibility for them, and I grant her the right of destruction if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of our most important traditions on this occasion, I expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Substantially so. I hope you find this verdict satisfactory, Miss Langley? Of course, Prince. Thank you. Very well. She turns to you. What is your name, child? Xavier, Prince. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Xavier. Now, this evening proved to be even more eventful than I anticipated, but with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Kadir, a moment of your time before I let you return to your duties?
Of course, Prince.
He shoots you a side glance that doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be watched. You will be judged. And, if need be, you will be punished. The two of them leave the gallery. Well, Xavier, I think we've both already managed to significantly improve each other's evenings. But let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? I think we should have a toast to a new fruitful partnership. She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierge, who have now reappeared in the showroom to refill the guests' glasses. The conventionally handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. He pours it into two tall glasses. It's blood again, that much is clear. You're in two minds about drinking it, but the memory of last night's hunger makes you wince. You take a tentative sip. You expected the same blandness you tasted a few hours ago, but this one you can actually savor. It's smoky and warm, making you think of a cozy cabin in the woods. It does strike you as a strange image for your mind to jump to when you're drinking human blood, but it is what it is. You've never tasted anything like it. Do you like it? I think NYC caterers have very bourgeoisie ideas about what good blood should taste like. Apologies, you must have so many questions. While we're on the topic, perhaps we should start with those related to sustenance. I feel this hunger constantly. How much do I have to drink to make it go away? Well, the sad reality is it will never go away. No matter how much you drink, you'll always be tempted to have more. Unless you consume someone wholly to the last drop, paying for temporary relief with their life, but that's a one-way road to losing your humanity. Best start by taking a single sip from a vessel. Be prudent. Hot, fresh blood will be more satiating than most anything they serve in a fancy glass, but it can make you more voracious. As to how much you should have, it depends. If you're frugal, you can survive many nights without a single drink, but it's risky, and will tempt the beast that is part of our curse. Tomorrow, I shall take you hunting, and we will explore this topic further. The blood you're having tonight should be enough to keep you happy for now. That beast you mentioned, is that a metaphor, or... Oh, it's quite real, although not in a strictly physical sense. It lives in all of us. Our nature and hunger manifest. Those more religious among us connect it to the biblical Cain, the rage of the first murderer, cursed by God, seething in all his descendants. I, however, am a child of the Enlightenment. Not that it makes my struggle any easier. I have to be wary like every other kindred in this city and beyond. Individual kindred each have a unique relationship to their beast. What yours is going to be remains to be seen. But you need to keep it under control. Each outburst endangers not just you, but also the Masquerade. The concierge returns and asks for permission to intrude, which Sophie gives with a polite smile, and leans in to whisper in her ear. You note that the gallery is now almost empty. I'm being told the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come. The smile she puts on makes you remember last night's encounter in the showroom. A similar eagerness to spend time with this person overtakes you momentarily, and you follow her outside. Your sixth sense tells you she's an artistic soul too, and you unwittingly start projecting good qualities onto her. Okay, guys, so we have a patron. We have been spared the death sentence. And I guess we're going to get properly initiated into the Clan of the Rose, aka Clan Toreador. We'll go ahead and end it here, and we will pick it up next time. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.